They say every journey has a destination, but they never mention the stops along the way that change everything. The ones that rewrite your story mid-sentence, the ones you can never undo. I'm Detective Rachel Chen, and I've investigated over 200 cases in my 12 years on the force. I've seen what people are capable of when they think no one's watching. But nothing, absolutely nothing prepared me for what I found at the Crossroads gas station on Highway. This is the story of how I learned that some places exist between the cracks of the world, waiting for the desperate, the lost, and the foolish. And on the night of October 15th, I was all three. The fuel light had been glowing amber for the last 30 miles. Stupid, careless, exactly the kind of mistake I'd warned my daughter Emily about 1,000 times. Always keep your tank above half, especially on night drives, I'd lectured her. And here I was, proving myself a hypocrite at 53 years old. The call had come at 9:47 p.m., my ex-husband's voice. Tight with that special panic reserved for true emergencies, Emily's been in an accident. St. Mary's Hospital. You need to come now. I didn't ask questions. Didn't pack a bag. Didn't check my fuel gauge. I just drove, my Honda's engine humming through the darkness while my mind screamed scenarios I couldn't afford to entertain. Emily was 24, brilliant, about to finish her residency at Johns Hopkins. She was supposed to be invincible. The route from Portland to Seattle typically took 3 hours. I was making it in 2.5. Pushing the speed limit on the desolate stretches of Highway 9. This road was faster than the interstate, but lonelier, fewer exits. Fewer towns, fewer options when things went wrong. At 11:23 p.m., the engine sputtered. No, I muttered, watching the speedometer drop from 70 to 60 to 50. The forest pressed close on both sides of the highway, an impenetrable wall of Douglas firs that turned the world into a tunnel of darkness punctuated only by my headlights. Then I saw it, a glow in the distance. Not the harsh white of LED signs or the warm yellow of sodium lamps, but something older, something that flickered like candles in church windows. The sign materialized from the darkness. Crossroads gas station, last chance for 87 miles. Last chance. The words felt prophetic. I coasted into the lot, my car wheezing its last breath before dying completely at pump number 3. The station looked wrong somehow. Not abandoned, the lights were on, the pumps gleamed with recent cleaning, but displaced. Like someone had plucked a 1950s service station from the past and dropped it here. Unchanged and unchanging. A bell chimed as I pushed open the glass door. Old-fashioned, musical, the sound of it raised. Gooseflesh on my arms. The interior matched the exterior's vintage aesthetic. Checkerboard floor tiles, rotating wire racks filled with maps, actual paper maps. A soda cooler humming in the corner with brands I hadn't seen since childhood. Behind the counter stood a man who looked simultaneously 20 and 80, with smooth skin but ancient eyes. "Evening," he said, his voice like rustling paper. "Cutting it close, aren't you?" "I need gas," I replied, pulling out my credit card. "Pump 3. He shook his head slowly. "Card reader's been acting up. Cash only tonight." Of course it was. I checked my wallet. $43. "How much for a fill-up?" "That depends," he said, and something in his smile made my detective instincts flare. "On what you're willing to pay?" "What kind of answer is that?" I snapped, anxiety making me sharp. "I've got $43. Will that cover it or not?" The man, his name tag read Silas, though I couldn't imagine anyone actually naming their child that tilted his head like a bird examining a worm. "Your daughter, Emily. How is she?" My blood turned to ice. "How do you know my daughter's name?" "You'd be surprised what I know, Detective Chen. I know you've been driving for 2 hours and 16 minutes. I know you're afraid, terrified actually, that you'll arrive too late. I know you've been carrying guilt about the divorce for 7 years, wondering if you'd been home more, been present more, whether Emily would have made different choices." My hand moved instinctively to my hip, where my service weapon usually rested. It wasn't there off-duty. Driving to an emergency. I'd left it in my safe at home like a responsible citizen. "Who are you?" I demanded. "Told you. I'm Silas. I work here." and I'm offering you a trade." He leaned forward, those ancient eyes fixing on mine. "Gas for your car. In exchange for a favor." "What kind of favor?" "The kind you won't miss." "Not really." He reached under the counter and pulled out a leather-bound ledger, the kind accountants used before computers. "See, this station has been here a long time. Longer than the highway. Longer than the forest. We exist in the spaces between destinations, serving those who need us most. And in return, we ask for small things. Memories mostly. Little pieces of past you don't need anymore. Should have left. Should have called for help, walked the highway, done anything except engage with this lunacy." But Emily's face filled my mind, her laugh, her stubborn chin. "Okay." The way she'd looked at 6 years old when I taught her to ride a bike. "Too late, too late, too late," my heart whispered. "What memories?" I asked. Silas smiled like he'd won something. "Choose. Open the ledger and pick a memory. Sign your name next to it. We fill your tank, you drive away. And you never remember what you lost because you won't remember losing it." This was insane. Impossible. The rational part of my brain, the detective, who dealt in evidence and facts, screamed at me to refuse. But the mother in me, the part that would burn down the world to save her child, reached for the ledger. The pages were filled with entries in different handwriting, different languages, different eras. Each entry listed a name, a date, and a memory. First kiss, 1987. Mother's lullaby, 1952. Wedding date, 2003. My hands trembled as I flipped through. What memory could I afford to lose? What piece of myself was expendable? Then I saw an empty line near the back, and I understood what I had to do. "Not just any memory," Silas said, reading my expression. "It has to be something meaningful, something that costs you. Otherwise, there's no power in the trade." "The memory of arresting Marcus Devereaux," I said quietly. Silas raised an eyebrow. "The South Side Strangler case. Your career-making arrest. You sure about that?" I wasn't. Marcus Devereaux had terrorized Portland for 8 months, killing 6 women before I caught him. The case had made me a detective first class, earned me commendations, put me on a path to lieutenant. It was the achievement I was most proud of professionally, but Emily mattered more than pride. "Fill the tank," I said, reaching for the pen. "Wait." Silas held up a hand. "You should know memories aren't just past. They're foundations. Remove the wrong one, and other things collapse. Arresting Devereaux led to your promotion. Your promotion led to different cases, different paths, different versions of you. I don't care. Give me the gas. Your daughter's accident." Silas continued. "Slowly happened because she was driving to meet you. You'd planned dinner to celebrate your promotion to lieutenant, a promotion that came from the Devereaux case. Remove that memory, change that history, and she never makes that drive. She never has that accident." I froze, pen hovering over paper. "You're saying if I sign this, Emily will be okay?" "I'm saying timelines are funny things. Change one thread, the whole tapestry shifts. Your daughter's fate, your fate, they're woven together. Pull the right thread." He didn't finish, but he didn't need to. I signed my name. The moment the pen lifted from paper, the world lurched. The station walls rippled like water, and I felt something tear away from inside my chest, not painful, but profound. A piece of myself excised cleanly, leaving a space I couldn't quite identify. "Pump 3 is ready," Silas said, his voice echoing from far away. "Drive safe, detective." The world felt different, somehow colors too bright, sounds too sharp. My hands shook as I pumped gas. $43 worth of premium that flowed like liquid light. When I climbed back into my car, my phone rang. My ex-husband's number. "Hello?" My voice sounded strange to my own ears. "Rachel. Where are you?" "Dinner was an hour ago." Emily's worried. I blinked. "What?" "Our dinner. To celebrate Emily's residency completion. You said you'd be here by 7. It's past 11. She's okay?" "Of course she's okay. Are you okay?" You sound strange. I looked in my rearview mirror. The gas station was gone. Just empty highway and dark forest, like it had never existed. I'm fine, I whispered. Tell Emily I'm sorry. Tell her I'm on my way. As I pulled back onto the highway, I tried to remember why I'd been rushing. Something about an emergency that no longer existed. Something about a case that seemed important but now felt like smoke through my fingers. I couldn't shake the feeling I'd forgotten something crucial. Something that defined who I was. 3 weeks passed before I realized what I'd lost. The first clue came during a staff meeting. Lieutenant Morrison mentioned the Devereaux case, and everyone looked at me expectantly. I smiled and nodded, but inside I was scrambling. Devereaux. The name meant nothing. When I checked the files later, I found my name all over the case notes, my signature on arrest warrants, my testimony transcripts from the trial. But I remembered none of it. The second clue came when Emily and I had lunch. She mentioned my legendary interrogation skills and how Devereaux had confessed after I'd spent 18 hours wearing him down. I laughed it off, changed the subject, and felt that empty space in my chest grow larger. The third clue came when I dreamed. In the dream, I stood in the Crossroads gas station, and Silas smiled his ancient smile. Memories aren't just thoughts, he said. They're who you are. Remove enough of them, and what's left? An outline, a ghost, a shell walking around pretending to be Rachel Chen. I woke sweating, my phone glowing with 3:17 a.m., and I knew it with the certainty that comes from deep in the gut that I had to go back. Finding the gas station proved harder than I expected. I drove Highway 9 6 times over the next week, searching for that flickering glow, a displaced feeling, nothing, just empty road and dark forest. On the 7th attempt, I tried something different. I let my tank run low again. Let desperation creep in. Let myself need it. And there it was. Same sign, same impossible vintage aesthetic, same Silas behind the counter. Detective Chen, he said without surprise. Back so soon? I want my memory back. Ah, he pulled out the ledger, flipped to my entry. Memories don't work that way. Once traded, they're gone. But, he paused, ancient eyes glittering. You could make a different trade. What kind of trade? I'll restore what you lost. In exchange, you help me with a problem. What problem? Silas gestured to the empty station. This place exists because of deals, hundreds of them over the years. But recently someone's been breaking the rules. Taking memories without trading, stealing instead of bargaining. It's causing disruptions. Who? Marcus Devereaux. It's the name I didn't remember but somehow knew. That's impossible. I arrested him. He's in prison, oh detective. You would have arrested him in the timeline you erased. But in this timeline, the one where you never made that caller, he's still out there. Still hunting. And he's discovered this place. Discovered how to take memories by force, using them to hide his crimes, make witnesses forget, erase evidence from minds. Horror crawled up my spine. How many? 3 women so far. Maybe more. It's hard to track when memories keep disappearing. I felt sick. I did this. By erasing my arrest of him, I set him loose. You saved your daughter, Silas corrected. Choices have consequences. Now you have a new choice. Walk away. Forget this conversation. Live your life with that gap in your memory. Or help me stop Devereaux. Restore balance. And maybe earn back what you traded. I didn't hesitate. What do I need to do? Silas smiled. Catch him again. But this time, you'll have to do it without the memory of how you caught him before. You'll have to be better than you were. He slid a photograph across the counter. A woman's face, scared, early 30s. Her name is Jennifer Morse. Devereaux's next target. He's been watching her for 3 weeks. If you can save her, use her as bait. You might be able to lure him here. And here the rules are different. Here, I can help. Why do you care? Because he's breaking the sanctity of deals. Stealing what should be traded fairly, That threatens everything this place is. Silas's expression hardened. And because some prices should be paid willingly or not at all, I found Jennifer Morse at a coffee shop in Tacoma. Approaching her was tricky. How do you tell someone a serial killer is stalking them without sounding insane? I opted for the direct approach. Ms. Morse, my name is Detective Rachel Chen. Don't react. Don't look around. Just listen. You're in danger. To her credit, she barely flinched. From who? A man named Marcus Devereaux. He's been following you. 3 weeks now. Different cars, different clothes, but always there. Haven't you noticed? Her face went pale. The man at the grocery store. In the park. I thought I was being paranoid. You weren't. I need to move you somewhere safe. Somewhere we can control the environment. Shouldn't I just go to the police? I am the police. But this guy is special. He can make people forget. Witnesses lose their memories. Evidence vanishes from minds. Traditional protection won't work. Jennifer's hands shook around her coffee cup. What will work? Trust. In a very strange gas station. 3 nights later, Jennifer and I sat in my car at the Crossroads gas station. I'd let my tank run low again, and the station had appeared like magic or curse from the darkness. Jennifer stared at it with wide eyes. This place feels wrong, she whispered. It is wrong. But it's also our advantage. Devereaux has been using its power without permission. Celeste, the owner, wants to stop him. We're the bait. This is insane, completely. I checked my weapon, made sure the radio worked. Backup was 15 minutes away, but I'd called them preemptively, given them the coordinates. They thought I was crazy, but they'd come. You don't have to do this. We can try a different way. Jennifer shook her head. No. I'm tired of being afraid. Let's end this. We went inside. Silas nodded at me from behind the counter. He's close. I can feel him. He's been drawn here, pulled by the power he's stolen. He thinks he can take more. Can he? I asked. Not if I don't allow it. But he has to come inside first. He has to accept the invitation. We waited. Jennifer pretended to browse the ancient snack racks. I stood near the door, hand near my weapon. Silas watched the darkness outside with those ageless eyes. At 2:34 a.m. Marcus Devereaux walked through the door. He was ordinary. That's what struck me first. Mid-40s, average height, thinning hair, forgettable face. The kind of man you'd pass on the street without a second glance, but his eyes were hungry. They fixed on Jennifer, and he smiled. Oh, well, he said softly. Jenny, I've been looking forward to meeting you properly. Jennifer backed toward the counter. I stepped forward, badge out, weapon drawn. Marcus Devereaux? You're under arrest for... He laughed. Actually laughed. For what? There's no evidence. No witnesses. I've erased it all. Every single memory. Every single time. He tapped his temple. I've learned the secret, you see. This place, it taught me. Memories are power. Control them, and you control reality. You're stealing, Silas said coldly. Breaking the compact. Taking what should be traded. The compact is a lie, Devereaux spat. Why trade when you can take? Why ask when you can seize? He looked at me, and recognition flickered in his eyes. Wait, I know you. Detective Chen. We've met before. No, we were supposed to meet. In another life? Another timeline. His smile widened. Did you trade something, Detective? Did you erase yourself to save someone? How noble. How stupid. My finger tightened on the trigger. Get on the ground now. Or what? You'll shoot me? Then what? You'll be the one who remembers nothing. Every second you spend near me, every moment we share space, I'm pulling at your memories. Taking them. Soon you won't remember why you're holding that gun. He was right. I could feel it, a tugging sensation, like fingers rifling through my mind. My daughter's face blurred. My ex-husband's name slipped away. The reason I became a detective faded to static. Silas, I gasped. Help. He has to choose, Silas replied. Free will. That's the rule. He has to accept a trade, or he has to be stopped by his own actions. Devereaux moved toward Jennifer. Come here, Jenny. Let me make you forget. It won't hurt. You'll just disappear into me. All your memories, all your dreams, they'll be mine. Jennifer picked up a glass bottle from the shelf, some ancient brand of soda hand, smashed it against the counter. Jagged glass glittered in her shaking hand. Stay back, oh Jenny. Don't you understand? I've already won. I've taken so much, become so full of stolen lives. I'm more than human now. I'm a collector of souls, a library of the lost. Then let me add one more volume, I said, and pulled the trigger. The gunshot was deafening in the small space. Devereaux stumbled back, blood blooming on his chest. He looked surprised, almost offended. You can't. He fell to his knees. Free will, Silas said softly. You chose to steal. She chose to stop you. That's the deal. That's always been the deal. As Devereaux collapsed, something strange happened. The air around him shimmered, and I saw them ghosts, dozens of them. The memories he'd stolen, the pieces of people he'd ripped away, they swirled like smoke, like spirits finally freed. And then they rushed back toward the ledger on Silas's counter. The book glowed. Pages flipped by themselves, entries rewriting, timelines correcting. I felt something snap back into place inside my chest. The empty space filled. The Devereaux case flooded back every detail, every interrogation, every moment of the hunt. But this time it was different. This time, I hadn't caught him years ago. This time, I'd caught him now. Tonight, in this impossible place between places. What happens now? I asked Silas as backup sirens wailed in the distance, impossibly finding this hidden station. Now, Silas smiled. Now you remember? All of it, both timelines. The life where you caught him before, and the life where you saved your daughter. You get to keep both, because you paid the price twice. Once with a memory, and once with courage. Jennifer slumped against the counter, crying. I holstered my weapon and put a hand on her shoulder. You're safe. It's over. Will I remember this? She asked. That's up to you, Silas said, offering her the ledger. You can trade the memory of tonight. Live your life without this trauma. Or you can keep it. Keep the knowledge that you fought back, that you survived, that you were brave. Your choice. Jennifer looked at the book for a long moment. Then she pushed it away. I'll keep it. I want to remember. I want to know I was strong enough, the official report said. Devereaux was caught during a sting operation at an abandoned service station off Highway 9. The 3 missing women were found alive, traumatized but recovering. Their memories were foggy, but they remembered enough. Enough to testify. Enough to put him away forever. No one mentioned the impossible gas station or the man named Silas. Those details disappeared from the reports, from witness statements, from everything except my memory. 2 months later, I got promoted to lieutenant again, or for the first time. Timelines are funny things. Emily took me to dinner to celebrate. She was radiant, healthy, finishing her residency with honors. I'm proud of you, Mom, she said. You never give up. Never stop fighting for people. I learned from the best, I replied, squeezing her hand. You taught me that some things are worth any price. Later that night, I drove Highway 9. I let my tank run low, let desperation creep in, let myself need it one more time. The Crossroads gas station appeared like an old friend. Silas stood behind the counter, ageless and ancient, and smiled. Detective Chen, I wondered if you'd come back. I wanted to return something, I said, placing a photograph on the counter. It showed Marcus Devereaux in handcuffs, being led away. Your ledger is missing an entry. A completion note. Justice served. Case closed. Silas picked up the photograph and studied it. Thank you. It's been a long time since someone closed a chapter properly. Can I ask you something? Of course, this place, what is it really? Purgatory? Limbo? Some kind of cosmic accounting office? Silas laughed, a sound like wind through old trees. It's a crossroads, detective. That's all. A place where choices get made, prices get paid. And sometimes, Sometimes people get second chances they didn't know they needed. Am I going to forget this conversation? Do you want to? I thought about it. About the weight of knowing, the burden of remembering impossible things. Then I thought about Emily's laugh and Jennifer's courage and the empty space that had been filled.
Oh, I said.
I want to remember.
All of it.
The price and the payment. The loss and the gain. Because that's what makes us human, isn't it? Remembering. Choosing. Living with the consequences. Then you will, Silas said simply. He reached under the counter and pulled out a business card. Thick paper, embossed letters. Crossroads gas station, open when you need us. In case you ever need gas, he said with a wink. I took the card, knowing I probably would never need to use it, but grateful to have it anyway. Some things are just comforting to carry. As I drove away, the station fading in my rearview mirror, I thought about the title I'd give this story if I ever told it. I shouldn't have stopped for gas. But that would be a lie, because sometimes the stops we make, the choices we commit to in moments of desperation aren't mistakes at all. Sometimes they're exactly what we needed, even if we didn't know it. Sometimes the detours are the destinations. I stopped for gas and found a way to save my daughter. I stopped for gas and caught a killer. I stopped for gas and learned that memory isn't just history, it's identity, purpose, the foundation of everything we are. I shouldn't have stopped for gas, but I'm so grateful that I did. The call came on a Tuesday morning. An FBI agent named Morrison wanted to consult on a case of serial killer who seemed able to make witnesses forget. 3 victims across different states, all with the same symptom, memory loss surrounding the crimes. I heard you handled something similar, Morrison said. The Devereaux case. I need your expertise. I looked at the business card in my wallet. Thick paper, embossed letters, waiting. I think I know someone who can help, I said. But it's going to sound crazy. Detective Chen, I've been doing this 20 years. Crazy is my normal, I smiled. Good. Then let me tell you about a gas station on Highway 9. Because here's the thing about crossroads. Once you know where they are, once you understand how they work, you have a responsibility. A duty to help others who stand at those impossible intersections, trying to choose which path to take. Some places hold darkness. Some places hold light. Some places hold choice, and the Crossroads gas station holds them all.